Hello there. All right. I'm enjoying these videos. I'm enjoying the learning how things are done. And Lotus Silk, I vaguely understand. It's kind of like processing webbing in order to make, or the moth threading or whatever it is, cocoons or whatever that is, to creating fabric. So of course it's gonna be incredibly long process. How would you get machines to do kind of stuff? Lotus Silk, maybe, I don't know, but just judging off of this picture right here, I don't know. Maybe there would be a machine to manufacture that, but that's the thing. I know with like when you're trying to use some kind of webbing that comes from like caterpillars or things like that to create into fabric. Again, how that was thought of is, I mean, sheep's wool, sure. Animal hide, yes. Using the small little things from just like spiders or caterpillars or this lotus silk. Look at that. I mean, yeah. Again, I don't.
Lotus silk is one of the rarest fabrics in the world. Produced only in small scale across Cambodia, Myanmar, and more recently Vietnam, this natural fibre is only extracted by a few skilled craftspeople across the world.
Oh, yeah.
But making this silk isn't easy. Extracting enough lotus silk for one scarf can take 2 months, and the final product can cost 10 times as much as regular silk. So just how is it made? And what makes it so expensive?
I want to know, is it worth the process? Is this silk like the greatest silk, the most indestructible, the most weather resistant, the most leave it out in the sun and that it won't destroy its color type thing? Or is it just silk and it's the fact that it's how it's done?
Phan Thi Thuan's family have been making silk for generations, growing and harvesting the threads from silkworms themselves to create luxury garments. But making lotus silk is different. Silk usually comes from silkworms. They're kept on wide trays and need to be fed almost 24 hours a day with mulberry leaves. The caterpillars delicately spin threads to create their cocoons, and it can take hundreds of silkworms to make a kilo of silk. But while the insects require careful looking after, they do most of the hard work themselves. The key difference between the bright yellow silk and the paler lotus version is that every single strand of lotus silk must be extracted by hand.
Tơ sen thì nó khác với cái lụa tơ tằm. Là tơ sen thì mình phải rút sợi tơ nó là thân mộc. Mà sợi tơ tằm kia nó có cái phần cứng hơn cái sợi tơ sen là vì nó nhờ vào cái nực của con tằm, nó qua một cái tuyến keo của nó rút từ ruột nó ra, cái là nó có cái phần mềm mại mà có một chút co giãn. Còn tơ tằm thì nó bóng, sang trọng. Tơ sen là quý phái.
Each thread of lotus silk starts with the stem of the lotus flower. The lotus is Vietnam's national flower and a plant that's grown across the country. While this fabric has been made for years in Myanmar, Phan Thi Thuan only started experimenting with this fibre in 2017.
Với chúng tôi thì tất cả đất nước Việt Nam, nhân dân Việt Nam là ai cũng rất là quý cái bông hoa sen. Tất cả nước chúng tôi là rất là nhiều người trồng sen. Nhưng mà bao giờ cũng chỉ có thu hoa sen, thu hạt sen thôi. Còn cuống sen là vứt ra nó rất là bẩn. Khi mà người ta gợi ý cho tôi làm tơ sen thì tôi thấy có lợi cho nhân dân, cho nông dân thì tôi nghĩ là tôi có khả năng làm được thì tôi sẽ quyết tâm tôi làm.
Once the stem is selected and picked by hand, the silk inside can be extracted. Each stem contains a minuscule amount of thin, sticky fibres, which must be rolled together and dried. The threads need to be processed within 24 hours while they're still wet, otherwise they'll break, and so harvesting has to be done each day. And the lotus plants are only available to harvest between April and October. Once you've gone through the hard work of extracting these fibres, they're incredibly delicate too.
What?
Bước đầu là tôi chưa nghĩ đến làm tơ sen, thì tôi cũng nghĩ là tơ sen thì nó mỏng manh mà làm thì nó rất nhiều công. Sợi tơ tằm thì nó dai hơn cho nên là có thể dệt được bằng máy, còn sợi tơ sen thì nó không có độ dai như sợi tơ tằm cho nên là phải dệt bằng tay. Cái thời gian của cái việc lấy sợi là lâu nhất. Còn khi mà đã nấy được sợi rồi, cho vào máy dệt rồi thì nó cũng nhanh hơn nhiều. Bởi vì tất cả bao nhiêu công đoạn mới được nấy được sợi. Thì một người lao động làm một ngày được 200 đến 250 cuống sen. Còn cái khăn rộng 36cm, dài 1m75 thì hết 9.200 cuống sen. Thì một người phải làm một cái khăn đấy là phải mất 2 tháng mới được một cái khăn.
Once dried, these threads are carefully weighed down and delicately hand-spooled. Then they're put into the loom. These fibers are fragile, but once woven can be as durable as traditional silk.
Can be?
Fan has a team of 20 workers creating these fibers each day, allowing them to produce 10 to 20 scarves each month. But when a 25cm scarf can sell for just over $200, the hard work is worth it. The final product is unlike any other fiber. It's soft like silk, breathable like linen, and slightly elastic. These luxurious traits have made it popular with tourists searching for rare souvenirs. It's also recently been picked up by international fashion brands searching for a new luxury fiber. But its scale has been limited, as there are still few trained in the making of these silk threads. But despite the work involved, Phan Thi Thuan is hoping that this skill could one day grow to become a larger industry.
Tôi dạy rất là nhiều, nhưng mà dạy những người lớn tuổi cũng nhiều. Những người lớn tuổi họ sẽ không có cái sự sáng tạo, không có đam mê, mà không có cái làm thì nhanh bằng những thế hệ trẻ. Cho nên là 2 năm 19, 20 này là tôi đã dùng các em học sinh trong những dịp nghỉ hè là tôi dạy các em ấy. Mỗi năm là dạy 100 em rồi. Thì là nhìn thì cái thế hệ tương lai đấy nó mới phát triển được tơ sen cho chúng tôi. Nhưng mà tôi chỉ mong là nhân dân Việt Nam và những thế hệ mai sau nó sẽ giỏi hơn chúng tôi, thì nó sẽ có những cái cách làm khác đi, thì nó sẽ làm được nhiều hơn, nhanh hơn.
That just seems too I guess the product, like they were saying, it's more durable. Has a better feeling, better gloss. So yeah, some of the things I had mentioned, yeah, it is better. It does have all that, but foreigners are just absolutely, they'll buy anything. They'll buy anything. The thing is, like, I think most people, when they travel, they'll look at something and they expect things in other countries to be not as much. And they'll look at that price and be just, of course, they're still going to buy it because they're not. And most of the time, they won't be aware of what they have. It'll just, like they said, bought as a souvenir. They will not be aware of what that actually is, what it took to make it. They will just be buying it because it's what they got to remember their trip. I don't know. That's normally what I feel when it comes to like foreigners. I mean, don't really get many. Most people who come here aren't wanting to buy souvenirs. But well, when people from here travel out, they don't think much. They'll just buy whatever, and I doubt they would treat it with the respect it deserves with all the work that went into it. They'll just go, oh, look at this, and they'll probably assume that it's made far easier in other locations, not knowing that it's not made easier anywhere else. It's exactly the same process almost everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't see myself buying something like that. But then again, I mentioned before, I prefer the cheap stuff. I don't care for how I look most of the part. As long as I'm wearing clothes, I'm happy. Yeah, I got something to wear. No need to spend a fortune on it. Thank y'all for watching. Talk to you next time. Doodles.